On one of his scouting space trips, Jeff Stone landed undetected on planet Skaro. He brought back to Earth an astonishing report. His scout ship touched down in an extinct volcano. He found a long-forgotten mine shaft that led to the underground Dalek city. This must be the lowest part of the city, and that looks like a lift shaft, he said to himself. All levels seem to be connected by lifts, powered by pressurized gas. The lift doors opened and shut automatically as soon as Jeff stood on the lift floor. It ascended at great speed. By touching the door, an automatic mechanism stopped the lift and opened the door. On the next level, he set out on his perilous exploration. This area contained vast nuclear generators which supplied power for the city. No Daleks around here, Jeff thought to himself. Those banks of computers must do all the work. In large tanks, plants were growing under artificial sunlight, then strained into a whirling pulverizer. The plant dust was then turned into nutritious gases and circulated through the city. Daleks eat by breathing gases. At times they are given extra doses. One Dalek made a peculiar burping sound, which appeared to be caused by excess gas. Another Dalek observed, "Your intake valve needs regulating." Jeff noticed that the floors were made of metal and charged with electricity. The Daleks pick up their motive power from the floor. This road seems to lead to the center, he thought to himself. My space boots will insulate me from the electricity, so here goes. The Daleks on other roads were too involved in their scurrying journeys to notice Jeff as he moved cautiously towards the central building. The first room was the Supreme Council chamber. Daleks were closing the inner doors for a private meeting of the illustrious elders, so Jeff moved on. To the Master Control Room, nerve center of the city. Here, every activity of the city was recorded and checked. The position and movement of each individual Dalek was noted and passed on to the Emperor's private screen. Those doors are obviously guarded by invisible rays. This is not a healthy place for an intruder, he said to himself. I'd better go before I'm spotted. Realizing he was in great danger, Jeff followed the winding corridor to the radio telescope visualizer room. On the surface, the radio telescope signals are converted into visual images by reconstructing the radio waves as light waves. In this way, the Daleks can tune into any scene millions of miles away. Report to War Office. No trace of Dalek scouting squadron on northern hemisphere of Pluto. The positions of every Dalek unit in the solar system and other stellar systems was recorded. This narrow entrance led to the secret council chamber. It was instant death for any but the war commanders to enter. As the Daleks examined the gigantic electronic screen, one of them commanded, War Leader Dalek, report from radar photo screen. No signs of Dalek squadron on Pluto. Top priority, dispatch AE Thunder Flight to Pluto. The term AE Flight refers to Albert Einstein, the great Earth mathematician who believed it would never be possible to travel faster than light. The AE Flight was a group of super Daleks who had learned the secret of crashing the light barrier. Nearby was the suicide room. 2 Daleks were elected each year. Their sole duty was to remain tuned into the planet's surface. Like 2 frozen statues, they guarded the city without rest. Should there be any danger of invasion, their one task was to pull the great red handle. This would destroy the whole city and its secrets in one great atomic flash. As Jeff crept away from his silent watchers, he was startled by gunfire and metallic shouts. It was the training school. A Storm Blaster Dalek, analogous to a Sergeant Major, was yelling at the recruits. Cease fire! Adjust your blast guns to wide angle. I want all these figures shot down in one blast. The Dalek Invention Hall. Here they were working on a new machine that could deflect rays of light on a vast scale. If the Daleks perfect this machine, they will be able to prevent the sun's rays from reaching the Earth. The result would be catastrophic. A Dalek spoke.
Soon we shall be able to test it on the sun's rays.
We must conquer the Daleks before they perfect that machine, Jeff thought to himself. Jumping Jupiter, what's this place? Jeff was looking down into the Dalek War Museum, which housed a collection of many different spaceships and war remnants from across the centuries. As if in a dream, he wandered out to an area where the lights were dim, the walls and floor glowed golden. No Dalek could be seen, and no ray barriers guarded the doors. It was an area where no other Daleks would dare to approach uninvited, the Emperor's quarters. There's His Excellency in person, Jeff thought to himself. The Emperor was occupied with giving his orders.
Attention! Switch on the revitalizing rays!
At regular intervals, the creature that functions in the control chambers of each Dalek is given a revitalizing course of radioactivity. The jelly-like cell is carried in a special container and exposed to nuclear bombardment. Earth scientists believe that as the Dalek creature throbs and pulsates under these rays, it is strengthened and its lifespan extended. As the Emperor turned to switch on other screens, giving him views of the city and its activities, Jeff moved on quickly. He crossed a tube bridge to the Dome of Sciences and Dalek Culture. In the Hall of Flame, he stopped aghast as a siren wailed and a Dalek student hurried to the notice board. In the anatomy room, a demonstration was in progress.
Observe this wax dummy. The schizoid accelerator destroys the ego. Then the Scaro mesmerizer is injected into the brain. Thus, a human may be turned into a humanoid and will obey us without question.
At the door, Jeff picked up a booklet. Anatomy of a Dalek. Top secret. If captured, destroy this document at once. Our Earth scientists will be interested in this document. The process of re-education was being carried out on a large scale in the main lecture hall. The Daleks were rearranging all history to suit themselves.
First flying machine invented by Daleks. As we know, the great discoveries and inventions came from Daleks. But Earth creatures still think they are clever. They even imagine that they invented the Daleks.
The Dalek laughter which followed was not a pleasant sound. The laughter died suddenly. The spotlights had cast Jeff's shadow on the wall. He turned and fled. Outside the Dome of Culture, he leaped into a lift and descended. This must be the Dalek living quarters, he thought to himself. On a lower level, he found the workshops and special equipment hall.
This asteroid disguise will enable a Dalek to circle around the solar system undetected. The stars will keep him in orbit for 100 Earth years.
In the dark subterranean levels, Jeff saw the cells and interrogation rooms. A Dalek was brought in, and Jeff saw how they get the truth.
It is impossible!
One of the Daleks screamed.
No Earthman could get into our city. Test him on the lie detector. What did you see?
Another Dalek queried. If this had been a lie, a second image would have tried to blot out the true image on the detector's screen. Jeff knew that the game was up. He raced down the honeycomb of corridors as the alarm blared.
Emergency! Close all exits!
Wish I had time to look at these exhibits. Hope the automatic camera on my belt is working. To his relief, Jeff found the forgotten shaft which led to the old crater where his scout ship was waiting for instant takeoff. Before the Daleks had recovered from their pandemonium, Jeff was streaking back to Earth with this fantastic report on the Dalek city.